NASCAR has issued penalties against Austin Hill. Specifically, they've suspended him for one race, the upcoming one at Iowa Speedway, after he wrecked Aric Almirola during the Xfinity Series race at Indianapolis this past weekend. I wrote this up over at stockcarreport.com. You can find the link in the description below. Given that he is being suspended, he will also need a waiver in order to be eligible for the Xfinity Series playoffs, given he is missing a regular season race. Additionally, he loses all 21 of the playoff points that he previously earned throughout the season and is ineligible to collect any more. This is what happened during the race. This is from NASCAR Xfinity Series over on X.
Did you see the 19? Oh, what a save! Oh, no! What a hard hit with the 19. Wow.
So obviously some really hard racing there. Aric Almirola got a great run going there into the corner, got to the back of Austin Hill's car. Hard to tell if he actually made contact or if he just got him loose there. Obviously, we're talking like centimeters here, maybe even less than that. They were extraordinarily close, but Hill obviously got loose, went up the track, and did a whale of a job saving that car, but then decided to turn left and take out Aric Almirola out. At least that's what it looks, in my opinion. You can see the white gloves. He literally turns the car left and hooks Almirola into the outside wall. Brutal hit that Almirola took there. He actually said it was almost as bad or the same kind of impact that he suffered when he broke his back a couple of years ago. So really tough impact there for Aric Almirola. Hill was initially penalized 5 laps during the race, and he was not happy about it, saying over the radio, they can go F themselves, F NASCAR. This is effing bullshit. Actually, we can just listen to what he had to say here right here.
All right, they're going to hold us for 5 laps for reckless driving. Oh, they can go F themselves, NASCAR. That is f***ing bullshit. I'm sideways. I go to correct it back to the left. It gets locked to the left, and I run into the 19.
Well, I don't think that.
So that is what Austin Hill had to say there, and I don't think a lot of people are buying that. No, I'm definitely not. Looked like he turned it to the left and took him out there. Obviously, NASCAR believed that to be the case as well, given the fact that they suspended him. As far as what Almirola had to say after the race, he called the contact uncalled for. He said, I got him a little bit loose to get under him because it was time to go. I would have never done that 5 laps into the race, but when you're coming down to the end of the race at Indianapolis and he's already blocked me 3 times, I certainly got him loose, but I didn't feel like that was what he did was necessary. I felt like he could have easily fell back in line. He was damaged anyways. We were losing times to the leaders, so it wasn't like we were on pace with them. He was holding me up clearly, so it's just unfortunate that he obviously lost his mind right there. That was really bad judgment, in my opinion. I think that is an understatement right there from Aric Almirola. Hill's team, Richard Childress Racing, announced they will not appeal the penalty and that Hill will be replaced by Austin Dillon in its number 21 Chevrolet at Iowa. They wrote this over on X. Richard Childress Racing will not appeal the penalty NASCAR issued to the number 21 team following the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We remain focused on winning a championship with Austin Hill in 2025. Austin Dillon will race the number 21 Chevrolet at Iowa. I do find it interesting that they say that they are not going to appeal the penalty, but they remain focused on winning a championship. You would think that if you would try to appeal the penalty to get those 21 playoff points back and not have to require a waiver to be playoff eligible. If you thought that what Austin said was true and you had a case, the fact that they're not appealing, I think, indicates that what he did was intentional, and he did indeed wreck Aric Almirola and turn left in retaliation there. At least that's kind of what I'm taking away from that there. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with the severity of the penalty? Do you think it should have been more? I know this is a big debate I've been having on the dirt late model side. We've seen some, I think, extremely severe penalties for guys retaliating against other drivers. Obviously, these are typically under caution. We saw at with Taylor Farling up in Pennsylvania at Port Royal that he was suspended not only for this year, but next year from that track. And then 5 other tracks suspended him as well for those actions. We saw a 30-day suspension for Michael Page with the hunt the front after he retaliated against Corey Hedgecock. And then obviously most recently, we saw Bob Gardner get an indefinite suspension from the Mars Tour that has to be a minimum of 6 months for his retaliation against Darren Klein. So those were pretty severe there. Obviously, I felt like this was pretty retaliatory too, but he's only getting a 1-race suspension. So you can see, depending on who the sanctioning body is, the type of punishment you get for these types of actions. There is no clear consistency across the board. I think the one at Port Royal was just like absolutely way over the top. I get the 6 months, rest of the year. I understand that. I probably think that was probably even too much, but I do understand where they're coming from. They want to send a message to the other drivers, don't do this. I've always kind of been like 5 races. It seems to be a good number to me. Even here, I think 5 races would have probably been good as well if you really want to get this kind of stuff out. And we have seen some tracks do try to get some of this stuff out. I saw a video this past weekend. A track is incentivizing drivers with $50 to get out of their cars and fight on the front stretch with fisticuffs rather than using their vehicles to retaliate. And they put on a pretty good fight there. So you get a little bit more bang for your buck if you're a spectator. You might get a race as well as a fight there. So I actually think that is probably the way to go. That's something I've been talking about for quite some time. Try to get some kind of hockey style fighting there where it's more formalized rather than the chaos that we see either during cautions, retaliatory actions here on the track, or the craziness that we saw kind of with Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse at North Wilkesboro or whatever, the All-Star race, where you just had everyone just kind of in that melee or brawl where it's like just have them go at each other on the front stretch in kind of a cordoned off area where the officials are there and you don't have the teams involved, etc. I actually think that is a good model to follow, and they're obviously incentivizing the drivers to do that rather than to engage with the drivers on the track in their cars. But anyways, let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below.